The House advanced their budget proposal before recess, but its fate in the Senate is anything but certain. Here to break down the latest, Congressman Jody Arrington. He is the chairman of the Budget Committee. Good morning.
Good morning.
You're in studio with us. It's good to see you.
Yeah, I'm not in West Texas anymore, that's for sure.
Yeah. You sound like Wizard of Oz. We're not in West Texas anymore. No, you're in this Times Square is what it's called. Center of the universe.
Yeah.
Wonderful, isn't it?
It is
Guy
wonderful.
defecating right over there. If you want to.
So this is what the socialism Petri dish looks like.
Yeah, this is Mamdani's.
Should we take a before and after photo?
Yeah, exactly. This is what we get.
Well, this predates Mamdani.
Yeah, it does predate Mamdani. There will be more, I think. What are the chances that anything happens here? Do you have consensus even in the House on what to do at this point?
Yeah, well, we once again threaded the needle with a 2 or 3 vote margin to pass another reconciliation bill. Wasn't easy to do the first one that gave us the historic tax and spending cuts. We had to use the second one to break Democrat obstruction and open up Homeland Security and fund ICCBP.
What about a third one?
Well, I think the third one happens to have a tremendous impetus to fund our troops. Number one, this is emergency funding. This is basically a supplemental defense approach bill that we would never be able to get support from Democrats, but have to do it to allow our troops to have the resources to finish the fight and come home safely. So that's first and foremost. But secondly, you have the president's top priority, the SAVE Act, and you have what are 80-20 issues to provide common sense safeguards for our elections. So this is the only, I think, and best path to pass election integrity reform. So the combination of that, Joe, I think it bodes well for getting the consensus we need. What will the SAVE Act look like coming out of the parliamentarian? That's a different question, but yeah, I think we'll get support.
What could still be? What could emerge? What could be retained in that with the parliamentarian? How much of what the president wants could you actually get?
Well, there's a scenario where J.D. Vance is in the chair. The parliamentarian is not an elected official with the authority of making decisions. They only advise. The person in the chair could not accept that advice, could overrule the parliamentarian, and then you'd need 60 votes to basically overturn what the chair just did. So that is one play that could end up with a full SAVE Act with the money to implement it. The other way to look at it, and one scenario would be the parliamentarian says that you can't have a federal preemptive mandate for every state, so it has to be voluntary, and then you have to put money behind it to pass the Byrd rule because it has to have some significant material budgetary impact. So you could have a situation where it is voluntary, but I would argue that the swing states, there would be tremendous political pressure to implement these various provisions. And those are the states that I think we have national elections turning on. That would be a big step in the right direction, even if we get the entire SAVE Act.
Right. So you think the way I just understood. So Vance could move it forward. You'd need all the Democrats and 10 Republicans. 13 Republicans.
Yeah. So that's the cushion you have, or that's the threshold to overturn the chair.
To overturn the chair.
Who basically overruled.
I can probably mention 5 or 6.
Yeah, I can get there. I can get to half of the 13. I'm not sure I can get all the way to the 13. That's
Tillis, your buddy, Cornyn, right?
The Cornyn, Cassidy. I think there are a number that.
Oh yeah, Cassidy. He's gone too.
Murkowski, Collins, potentially. Who knows?
Yeah. But that might do it. So that's your prediction? What do you have? 50%
well, I just think that's one. Who knows? I think that's going to be a decision that my colleagues in the Senate with Thune, they're huddling now to discuss it. Again, it could be the full save. It could be that the parliamentarian puts the various contour cures that would make it voluntary, but we would still, I think, put enough political pressure on the right states to have a real impact on elections in the out years.
What month is it? It's going to be August.
Yeah.
So November. What do you use to try and gauge where things stand? I think we have a deal with Kalshi, but Kalshi's good. I was looking at Kalshi the other day. It's not good. It's still, I think, 20. It would be a difference of think there'd be 20 more Democrats than Republicans in the House, approximately where they are. This is with a part of that party talking about getting rid of the Senate and getting rid of prisons and
borders.
If that's not a gift to Republicans, I mean, and it's still not enough to overcome the midterm blues from the incumbent or from the president.
It's a strong dynamic, and the enthusiasm gap is real when the party in power is dealing with folks who want the change and are motivated for that change. I think the policy issues and the radical nature of them and the surge in socialism in the Democrat Party bode well for Republicans. But listen to the maps. These are just the numbers. We have a net of 10 new seats in the favor of Republicans. The RNC to DNC money is about a 10-to-1 in favor of Republicans.
But how much of it is an unpopular war and higher gas prices and other?
There's no question that's
costs.
The liability, and that's going to have some drag. I feel badly because I think our commander-in-chief is dealing with the information he has that suggests there's an imminent threat. And
do you think the Republicans in Congress will continue to support the war? Do you think there's a pullback if it looks like they are hearing back from their constituents who don't want it?
I think we're standing with our commander-in-chief and our troops at this point. I think we all understand that it's going to cost something, and that there will be a sacrifice to keep at bay Iran from obtaining nuclear weapons, and now to stabilize the situation in the Strait. And that's just the reality. Hey, that's why for 50 years, no political leader has done enough to deter Iran. So at some point, I think people have to say, part of that whole sort of policies of the past that have failed us are the feckless foreign policies and the weak posture we had on the world stage. So it is a tough thing to have to balance, with the price at the pump being the key metric now on the economy, sadly enough, because the economy was growing, business investment is way up,
tariffs.
Wages are up, even with the tariffs. So, but again, the seat's in our favor, the money's in our favor. The recent generic ballot came back with us down 2%. If we're 5 or better, we do really well. Mm-hmm. So I think we have a really good shot to keep the House. It's only happened, I think, post 9/11 and then back at FDR. But I think all the pieces are coming together for us to do it. We have good candidates. We've got money. We've got the sentiment. We have a radical Democrat Party that either didn't listen to the American people in the last historic presidential, or they didn't care because they're still clinging to these policies that are super out of touch, I think, with most Americans.
I don't know if you saw that we're going to have Rand Paul on Senate a little bit later, but whether you saw that. But, you know, all the Democratic senators that are seen as supposedly the center of the Democratic Party got their say yesterday. I was, like, flabbergasted.
Over the Fauci situation?
I was watching the so-called moderate Democrats and the position that they were taking, and just whether we'd really like to know whether something we did here in terms of gain of function, whether U.S. taxpayer dollars actually had something to do with funding the research that, in all likelihood, killed 7 million people and set back. I mean, it was. I was just watching, my mouth was open to watching that. How can the two sides be so far apart, Jody?
Well, Joe, at this point, I don't know. I think before, when nobody really knew or we trusted the, quote, experts and the science, I mean, it was the people who were questioning these ridiculous protocols.
But we'd like to make sure this doesn't happen again. If we had anything to do with it, and the nature of that virus, if you look at, there were a couple of sequences in there that COVID viruses do not use in nature, usually. Yeah. I mean, it's not a slam dunk, but that thing, right from the very start. And if that happened, and then this person actually just did everything in his power to make sure that didn't get out, this is unacceptable. And he needed to answer for that. Oh,
100%. And according to his diary, he knew this. He knew it all along.
Well, we'll have Rand. Yeah, this is not. You're right. I didn't mean to get there with you, but it was just the overall mood of the country right now. It's so hard to move forward.
Well, look, the people are losing confidence in their government. It's stock trading, right? It's insider trading that we addressed in the House, at least, most recently. It's election integrity. It's the, quote, experts that tell us to follow the science, and all the while we're conniving and deceiving and covering their backside from what we all suspected, which was what you just said. It was manipulated in a lab, and sadly that was known, but was hidden from the public.
The person that we're most supposed to, and that you're still hearing, he never will be held to account because he can always fall
unconditional pardon.
He can always fall back on, I've got all these people behind me, and this is a witch hunt, and I'm a man wrongly accused, because we got the entire Democratic Party telling him that he's a hero. Still, anyway, thank you, Congressman.
You bet. Good to be with you.
Rand Paul's me on a little bit later. I'm going to let him talk. Squawk Box coming right back.